For the kids, the game goes like this. Trying to keep the bubble from bursting as long as you can. Bubbles are supposed to be fun. But these days, any talk of bursting the Atlantic bubble is almost considered to be sacrilegious.
I don't want to burst the bubble, not yet, no.
I don't think they should open the bubble.
I feel very safe in the Atlantic bubble.
Here's how it works. With few exceptions, if you travel into the bubble from outside Atlantic Canada, you must self-isolate for 14 days. How do you feel about the Atlantic bubble?
We have our own little bubble. We're in the best bubble you can get.
And let's face it, there's a global pandemic on, but things are sailing along pretty well here inside this force field. People wear masks some places, like on the ferry, but life is otherwise pretty normal here. Only a few active cases, no community spread, and plenty of freedom. And a recent poll suggests the vast majority of Atlantic Canadians have no interest in bursting the bubble. Yes, people inside the Atlantic bubble feel like they've somehow been fortified. Do you like the idea of the Atlantic bubble?
Yeah, actually it's totally good because I think Nova Scotia had the better situation than Ontario.
Welcome to BEI. You have your documentation.
Before July, for the most part, Atlantic Canada's borders were closed. Then the provinces decided to open up to each other, but only each other.
You have your self-declaration form?
Just some paperwork and an ID check.
The carpet has been rolled out. You're very, very welcome.
And then the royal treatment. So are you feeling tempted to enter the bubble? Do you want to try opening your window there? Well, consider Bryn de Chastelain, university student from Ontario, one of thousands who were stuck in a mandatory 14-day quarantine in Halifax.
How are you doing up there?
Does that work okay?
Friends deliver groceries to his door.
But as much as I'm getting outside these days.
But no one can take away the boredom, growing by the day. And this is only day 12. Talk about a university initiation.
Would love to be able to feel like I could go back to visit family in Ontario whenever I want to. But at the same time, I think this is one of the safest areas in North America right now. But I am hopeful at some point that I'll be able to get back and see some family.
But when? Premiers and public health officials in Atlantic Canada have been sounding downright protective about opening borders.
I believe it would be premature today to be considering a further loosening of our border restrictions.
We don't have any timelines to make changes.
There's considerable fear, I would say.
Ongoing requirements for a quarantine.
So will the bubble ever burst?
So you just go inside, bring photo ID.
Turns out the incoming university students could actually be the canary in the coal mine, so to speak.
This has been a journey that the province has
according to Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil.
We think that the fact that we're welcoming thousands of young people from across the country will allow us to get a sense of the mobility of that virus. We're very encouraged by the fact that the system is working.
What are the conditions?
But for some in business, the bubble can't open fast enough. Don Mills, business owner and former pollster, says it's time to prick it.
We think we're safe from the world in Atlantic Canada. We are safe from the world in one respect. In another respect, our economy is being, really hard hit.
The economy everywhere in this country has been hard hit, and the bubble has some people questioning whether the fundamentals of nationhood means being in this together. The protectionist bubbling is unprecedented. Is it unconstitutional? It's something Ottawa legal expert, a.k.a. bubble outsider, Errol Mendez, has been researching.
Have we ever had anything like this in Canada before?
No, and hopefully we won't for another 100 years, but this is a very unusual situation. And
he's parsed the nitty-gritty and thinks a legal challenge would be iffy.
As long as governments can provide cogent scientific and public health reasons for limiting those rights, they are constitutional. I know that others disagree, but this is my firm conviction.
Which is exactly what they want to hear back in the bubble room.
They're not trying to be mean. I don't believe anybody's. They're just trying to keep it contained.
Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.